The year was 1898, and the wilderness of Tsavo, Kenya, stretched vast and unyielding under a scorching sun. This land, where acacia trees twisted skyward and the grasslands rolled endlessly, seemed eternal and untouched, a domain ruled by the rhythms of nature. But in this primal setting, a darkness began to stir, an ancient menace that would come to haunt the memories of those who ventured there. The British Empire, in its tireless ambition, had embarked on a project of monumental scale: the construction of the Kenya-Uganda Railway. This iron artery was intended to link the heart of East Africa to the wider world, a bold attempt to conquer the wilderness with industry and order. Laborers from India, local African workers, and European overseers poured into the region, setting up camps that dotted the landscape like fragile islands amidst a sea of wildness. Fires crackled in the evenings, their embers dancing in the breeze, while the hum of conversation and the faint strains of distant music brought a semblance of civilization to the untamed land. But as the railway snaked its way through Tsavo, something ancient and wild began to awaken. It started with whispers, stories shared in hushed tones around campfires. Shadows were seen moving just beyond the light, and low growls seemed to emanate from the surrounding darkness. The workers spoke of two lions, large and maneless, their eyes like embers in the night. These were no ordinary beasts. They seemed to embody the wilderness itself, a primal force unshackled by fear or reason. The disappearances began subtly at first, a worker missing here, a guard unaccounted for there. At first, the foremen attributed these absences to desertion or illness. But as the nights wore on and the terror grew, the truth revealed itself in claw marks on tents, in trails of blood leading into the bush. The lions had begun their campaign, a relentless series of predations that would etch their names into legend. The laborers, already strangers in an unfamiliar land, were gripped by a terror that bordered on hysteria. They spoke of the lions as supernatural entities, spirits sent to punish them for defiling the land. They gave the predators names: the Ghost and the Darkness. These names, whispered in fear, carried the weight of doom. Fires were stoked higher at night. Makeshift barricades of thorny branches were erected around the camps, and armed guards patrolled the perimeters. But the lions were no ordinary adversaries. They moved with an intelligence that seemed almost human, finding weak points in the defenses, leaping over barriers, and striking with a precision that left the camps in chaos. Lieutenant Colonel John Henry Patterson, the man overseeing the railway's construction, found himself thrust into the role of reluctant savior. A man of the British Empire, Patterson was pragmatic and disciplined, unaccustomed to tales of spirits and curses. But even he could not ignore the mounting evidence of the lions' cunning and ferocity. The workers' morale was crumbling, and the railway's progress had ground to a halt. If Patterson could not stop the lions, the entire project and his reputation would be in jeopardy. Armed with his rifle and a growing sense of urgency, Patterson began his hunt. He studied the lions' habits, tracking their movements and setting traps. But the predators seemed to anticipate his every move, their spectral presence haunting him night after night. He would lie awake in his tent, listening to the distant roars that seemed to mock his efforts. The jungle around him, once merely a backdrop to his work, now felt alive with malevolence. One night, Patterson constructed a platform in a tree near one of the camps. He baited the area below with the remains of a goat, hoping to lure one of the lions within range of his rifle. The hours crawled by as he waited, the darkness around him thick and oppressive. Every rustle of leaves, Every distant cry of a night bird set his nerves on edge. And then, just before dawn, he heard it. A soft but deliberate crunch of grass. The lion emerged from the shadows, its golden eyes catching the faint starlight. Patterson's breath caught in his throat as he raised his rifle, his hand steady despite the surge of adrenaline. He fired, the gunshot splitting the night like a crack of thunder. The lion roared a sound that was equal parts pain and fury before retreating into the bush. Patterson followed the trail of blood at first light, his heart pounding with a mix of fear and determination. The tree image, when he found the lion's lifeless body sprawled among the acacias, he felt a surge of relief, but the victory was short-lived. The workers' cheers were tempered by the knowledge that the second lion, the darkness, still prowled the land. The second lion proved even more elusive than the first. It seemed to grow bolder, as if avenging its fallen companion. Patterson's obsession deepened. Days turned to weeks, and his hunt became a battle of wills. He set more traps, constructed stronger barricades, and spent countless nights perched in trees or hidden in blinds. The workers, though emboldened by the first lion's demise, remained wary. Their songs and laughter returned to the camps, but always with an undercurrent of fear. Finally, one fateful night, Patterson's perseverance paid off. He confronted the second lion in a clearing, their eyes locking in a moment of primal understanding. The rifle barked once more, and the nightmare of Tsavo came to an end. When the lions' bodies were examined, they were found to be unusually large and in poor health. Their teeth were worn and broken, leading some experts to speculate that their predation on humans stemmed from an inability to hunt their usual prey. Others pointed to the disruption caused by the railway, which had displaced local wildlife and brought an influx of vulnerable targets into the lion's territory. Whatever the cause, the reign of the ghost and the darkness had left an indelible mark on Tsavo. Patterson's account of the events, published years later, immortalized the lions as legends of the African wilderness. Their remains were preserved and are now displayed in a museum, their lifeless forms a stark reminder of the thin line between civilization and the wild. Lions are territorial creatures. Avoid encroaching on their habitats, especially during dawn and dusk when they are most active. Lions typically avoid humans if given the chance. Making noise while moving through their territory can help alert them to your presence and reduce the likelihood of a surprise encounter. The tale of the Tsavo lions is one of horror and fascination, a reminder of nature's raw power and the resilience of the human spirit. Their story lingers in the collective memory, a shadowy specter of what it means to confront the unknown. For in the heart of the wilderness, where the line between predator and prey blurs, survival belongs to those who respect, adapt, and endure. If you found this video insightful, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications for the latest videos on wildlife safety, survival tips, and fascinating animal stories. Stay safe, stay informed, and we'll see you in the next one.